we've had a working group in Central Arkansas to support the Wisdom House, which is a school for orphans in Idlib province, and we expanded it last year to include a women's center, which does vocational training for predominantly widows. And we've had 135 students in the kindergarten class, so we're in our third class, so we've had about 400 and some odd kids involved in the school, and we fund 5 teachers and about 4 staff, and for between $30,000 and $40,000 a year we've done the school on an annual basis, and we've added for about additional $15,000 for the women's center. And we do it with cash. We get it to Turkey and get it across the border and pay in American cash to the mayor that does the teachers and so on. And it's worked out. It wouldn't have happened without the leadership of Muaz Mustafa, who is an extraordinary 34-year-old man who has just been a zealot in terms of his support of the Syrian people. He's recently been on CNN. We had a reception, we had a thing here for the Kamalmaz family, who is, Maj Kamalmaz was taken as a captive 2 years ago in Syria after being there for less than 24 hours. We're trying to get him free, and it's another thing that Muaz is working on. And Muaz has just been exceptional. And we do this all under the Syrian Emergency Task Force, and wherever Natalie is, where does she? Natalie works for the Syrian Emergency Task Force, and we actually work for Natalie. Natalie tells us what to do, and we do that. In the 3 years I've learned an awful lot, and I think the reality is that, and we're connected interfaith-wise with Sophia, Saeed, and others, but this has been it's a very dark time for Syria. And I think things like this are extremely important, just to raise the awareness. So, thank you all for coming.
Yeah, thank you. I think you'd like to say something now.
Yeah, just to go off like how exceptional Muaz has been. For me, 2 years ago, I attended the first event ever on Syria. It was called the documentary Red Lines, and so from that I really became involved with the Syrian Emergency Task Force and Natalie and the Wisdom House and everything, because I really got to experience the horrors and the tragedy that is occurring in Syria and that is still happening for 8 years now. And so that's when I really became involved. And this past summer, I got the opportunity to intern with the Wisdom House and the Syrian Emergency Task Force. And so with that, I became more involved and got to know more about what's happening in Syria and how we can help alleviate that suffering over there. And so I really also want to stress how heartbreaking it was today when I woke up this morning and my dad was already watching the news on CNN and how we saw New Zealand with this catastrophic event of 49 people killed in that mosque. And so it's really heartbreaking to see how this is still ongoing and all this violence against these Muslims and everyone else is still happening today. And so I think that this circle right here and how we've convened at the Capitol is really moving and can really start something more. So thank you all for coming today.
Let me make also an ask. If you all are interested in supporting the Wisdom House, you can go on and check the Wisdom House project, and we try to raise $30,000 to $40,000 with fundraising, and we've got about half of what we need coming in on monthly commitments. But if you have any interest, $10, $15, $20 a month makes a big difference.
That's okay. And say just a few things. Today we not only decided to get together because can y'all hear me? It's a bus. Because there's been 8 years of since the uprising in Syria, so 8 long years of war, when people in Syria just initially came out for their own dignity because they want freedom, just like us here in America. They want the same rights. They want to be able to be safe and not be scared to go to school. Unfortunately, today we're still worried, not only about the detainees that we know are still, hundreds of thousands of civilians who are still in these prisons, and we don't know what their fate is. Many of them, we know a lot of them have been killed, but also Idlib and our beneficiaries at the Wisdom House and the Women's Center continue to be in great danger. As we saw on the news just a couple days ago, white phosphorus was used on civilian areas in Syria. And then in light of what happened, the horrible tragedy, the massacre last night in New Zealand, it's a reminder that non-Muslims and Muslims really need to get together and have conversations, and see that we're just the same. We're all people who want to be safe, and it's just really beautiful to see everyone get together. And we have to be able to fight all of this hate with love, and it's really great to see all of your faces. Every single one of you guys makes a difference, I promise. And I think it's really important that Arkansas is stepping up for the Syrian people, and believe me, they know about it, and it makes a huge difference to all of the people in Syria to know that people care about them. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, can we kind of raise our banners up so I can catch everything we have?
Well, we're going to do that on the steps?
Yeah, just the circle first. So let me see all of you have got.
Absolutely, yeah. I think Darwin should just do the walk around. Come on.
Oh, Darlington, this might be good.
Actually, the thing that grabbed my heart was Jerry talking about, his son going to Vietnam and how horrific that sounded to him being from that era, and his vision that maybe when they would be able to go to Syria and see Syria and see the people and see a free Syria, and this is kind of my hope, and maybe the kids at the Wisdom House and the people at the Wisdom Center, what's it called? The Women's Dawn Center, would be like the start of a new free Syria. And I've read a ton of stuff, and people in Syria want freedom that we enjoy. That's what they want. They just want freedom, and it's heartbreaking to me. I would like for this also, and I think this is already happening, just that the world would start to cry out how wrong this is, and we won't allow it. Anyway, that concludes my remarks. I'm glad y'all are here.
So we can head over to the steps now for a photo, and we have, I think we might have a few more signs. Okay. Where's Flower Girl?